ticket for League of Legends Esports. We're getting onto the Rift, LEC BDS versus G2.
I don't really think of the LCK matches as true competitive matches because the support's lost, and we know if they had been trying their hardest, that would never have happened.
Yeah, but
Carrier's
it
not
also
gonna
did
get beaten
show
by some
Team
guy called
Jungle did
Faker.
win, you know what I mean? Just proving that Jungle is a very OP role.
It just proves that every game is Jungle did, is what I've learned. Santorin taught me that as well as we were playing together over the off-season. Now BDS and G2 taking it to the Rift. It is the start of the LEC. And what a joy and delight it is to be here with you all. The winter split starts now, as BDS can immediately show us the fact that blue side's kind of OP when it comes to the bot lane. You have this tri-bush you can walk into. This second bush as well, where Mikyx is standing, actually really important, because if you dive Hansama and Mikyx and force them back, you can then just wait in that bush, and then you can't get near their tower. It becomes basically impossible for them to lane. So as you said, BDS very likely to look towards the bot side. This invade as well, hopefully for them, opening up a split map.
Looks like they're going to get it. We talked about how BDS wanted to direct a lot of their early game efforts towards the bot side of the map, and by creating this split map, it's going to be much harder for Yike to path in this direction. You expect now Sheo to take all of these bot side camps. The best thing that G2 can do is have Hansama and Mikyx try and interrupt, try and force Sheo out, at the very least get him low so that there's no potential threat of a gank later on into the laning phase. But for now, they're going to play it safe, they're going to play reserved. They're very cautious of that bush.
And that's why Ice and Labrov are waiting in the tri-bush, because they know if Hansama and Mikyx go and try and fight the Nocturne, they can then quickly wrap up and help out Sheo on that blue buff. Mikyx and Hansama showing as they get down towards the bottom lane means that Labrov and Ice have that little bit of extra time. Hook already being channeled. Mikyx in the bush dodges the first sidestep, or perhaps the first miss of the LEC 2024.
Overall, a pretty solid trade for G2, I would say, but the push is slowly going in favor of BDS. We can see Yike starting on the top side of the Rift, going to clear out his red into the Krugs. And they were able to get a bit of deep vision towards Sheo's blue buff. They can keep an eye on what his pathing is, but he's going to continue his full side clear on the bot. The level 2 is going to be coming through very, very soon for BDS. And that means that G2 is going to have to play respectfully, as Caps is able to get this push in the mid lane as well. Nico into Akali. Akali doesn't have a lot of early game threat. Her wave clear is very weak at early levels. And that means that Caps can just continue to bully.
Caps can also do a little bit of Nico trickery. And we talked a little bit about this world. I think it was APA, the TL mid laner, who brought it to my attention first. When you're playing into Doran Shield and Font of Life, is it Font of Life, the one that gives you regeneration whenever someone hits you?
I'm really bad at names.
The one that the green rune in the middle that isn't bone plating. You guys know the one.
Second Wind.
Second Wind? It's Second Wind, yeah. When you're playing into that, as Caps, what you can do is turn into a minion whenever Nuke tries to hit you. And then he doesn't get the Second Wind or the Doran Shield proc, because you're a minion, that doesn't count as champion damage.
Yeah, he also showed us that tech, the tower aggro tech. That was Caps that showed us.
That was Caps, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of crazy tech that you can do on the Nico. Right now, Caps is just bullying Nuke. Welcoming both of them back to the LEC stage. Small advantage gained for Caps and BrokenBlade, because of course the disadvantage of the cross map is that Adam is left isolated. Not that he's any stranger to being left isolated up in the top lane. He's got to be very cautious of any potential dives or ganks. Both top lane is going to look to reset. Oh, actually, Adam going to cancel that as the TP comes through for BrokenBlade. Medic, if you wouldn't mind as well, can we quickly click on the runes rather? Let's have a look.
Runes, of course.
But the double hail of blades on the bot side of the map for Ice and Labrov. You can also see fleet footwork, but overall I'm seeing nothing too crazy, nothing too different.
And the only rune that was majorly changed was Perfect Timing got taken out because Stopwatch no longer exists, and now there's Time Warp Elixir of Skill 3 Pots rune that I haven't learned the name of, because the only person you really play it of is Udetop. And I doubted we were going to see Ghost
it could be quite good on Syndra as well.
It can be okay on Syndra, yeah.
Well. The other one that I've heard a lot about is, you know, when you get kills, it gives you stack, it increases the cooldown reduction of your items.
Yes, Ingenious Hunter, really strong, and actually works on someone like Renekton, as Sheo's looking up towards the top side here. BrokenBlade no way out of this, as Sheo will get first blood here. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Nuke is falling low, but he's able to dash and flash and escape under the safety of his tower. Yike now looking down towards that bottom side. Both teams playing on the opposite side of the map to where we expected them. Ghost comes out from Hansama, handshake back. Ice tries to flash under the tower, and now we see Mikyx already falling, taken out by the BDS bot lane, but they get one in response. TP now burnt as Labrov tries to escape. Yike low, Adam joins the fray, stuns Hansama. It's a 2-for-2 under the tower.
TP in from Adam, coming in clutch to at the very least get something back for BDS, but they do lead in kills for now. Question mark plays from BDS, pathing up towards the top side of the map as the wave was stacking towards bot. G2 found a great opportunity to find that dive. Of course, they were able to punish the flashless BrokenBlade up towards the top side of the map, and Sheo's going to use this opportunity to secure himself the first grubs of the game, one of the new additions to the Rift.
I don't know why. Grubs just like feels like gobbling something up to me. We'll have another look at this. As you can see, a fog has covered Summoner's Rift.
So the stacked wave,
new timey-wimey cover.
That it is. There's also a gank happening in the mid lane as well, but he should be fine. Really nice play there from Ice, buying as much time as possible to be able to trade 1-for-1. Then the TP comes in from Adam. A good ignite from Labrov comes through to punish Yike. He can't quite find himself the kill, which means that Hans Summer has to commit to it. He could have just accepted, but Hans was bloodthirsty. He wanted to try and secure himself that extra bit of gold. BrokenBlade now in a lot of danger.
Being forced out here, Dominus is blocking. BrokenBlade just can't survive. Adam already with the Tiamat, likely building up possibly towards the Titanic Hydra. We did see the Grubs go down a little bit ago. They spawn at 5 minutes, respawn once, max of 6 per game. When you kill a Void Grub, you get a team-wide buff that increases your damage to structures, gives you true damage in fact. And if you kill 5 or 6 of them, you either get 1 or 2 Void Mites to join you in attacking structures.
So overall, great thing to try and grab. And good on Sheo to find that window of opportunity. Now Adam is in a really good position. BDS, their initial game plan was to try and play around the bot side of the map. They found an opportunity top because the BrokenBlade not running flash by getting that early kill, and then Adam securing another kill bot side. You would imagine that committing that TP to the bot side of the map would have meant that BrokenBlade would have found a window to come back, but there was still a level differential. Adam was able to get level 6 first, and he used that level to find a solo kill. Now Caps could be in a bit of danger here, but I imagine he's going to be just fine.
Dodges away with a clone. Labrov's still only level 4. Can't really find too much more in the mid lane. Cap still has his flash, where we saw Nuke burn his earlier on.
Now to those that haven't played on the new patch yet, Hydra has now regained its active.
Right, so there's I always call it Propane Hydra. Profane Hydra, which has the active.
Yeah.
Tiamat also has the active.
Yeah.
Ravenous, they all have the, yes, you were correct.
Yeah.
But there's multiple Hydras now.
Yes.
You know?
But I just want to remind the viewers that you now have to press a button. Like the good old days, if you played before, for those really old school fans, the Brutalizer is back as well. Mikyx gets hooked.
Paranoia is available for Sheo. Doesn't go in yet, perhaps hoping Hans Summer and Mikyx will overextend. They decide against it. Smart move. The wave is pushing in though. Hans has good guns for a fight if one was to erupt. There's the Paranoia. They look for Hans Summer. With the Severum and the Crescendum, he's still pulled back. The bailout won't be enough to save him as BDS now 2,000 gold ahead.
Great play there from BDS. Once Sheo got the level 6, immediately he looks towards bot lane. They know that there's no summoners on Hans Summer, and they make the kill look easy. Wait for the fear to connect. The hook from Labrov comes through, and they find themselves a really important kill onto Ice. He now finds himself at 2-1-1, and BDS off to a fantastic start against G2.
That's a flyover start. You can see G2 are going to be able to pick up this Drake. Not too much changed in terms of dragons. You can see the pit is slightly different. An elongated wall on the red side makes it slightly harder for them to enter, but the only Drake, the only soul at least, that has changed is the Infernal. As the first dragon goes down.
I mean, overall, 8.5 minutes in, BDS looking great.
Yeah.
You know, like it's at the start of the season where teams are really trying to figure out their form, their approach to the game, that you'll see a lot of surprising performances, but to come in game 1 with what is a very aggressive comp, right? You need to try and get ahead early. It's very much about using that early game power to build into a strong mid game and then snowballing from there. And they're doing just that. They're finding advantages top. You can leave Adam on an island now. BrokenBlade is going to take a very long time before he can really duel. In the bot lane 2 versus 2, Labrov is getting very feisty.
Yeah, Ice going forward. They do have the Fates call for Ice here as Mikyx levels up. And Ice doesn't fate call Labrov out of it. Yike now coming down. Ice realizes he's not in the best of spots. Yike could burn the flash, doesn't need it for the cease and desist, and he batters Ice down. Ice dodges away. But Yike's still able to pick up the kill. A misplay from the BDS bot lane, punished by G2.
Good to see that Caster Curse is still in full effect, just as I'm praising the way in which...
Took us 9.5 minutes to get that one in.
BDS, they were off to such a strong start, and then they just... Is it fair to say that they misplayed? I mean, like, one more auto from Ice would have been enough, but I think they thought that the Ignite would be enough to kill Mikyx. Then he gets the level up to 6. The good news for BDS, though...
Ready. Come on.
Sheo is able to secure the...
Look at the might! Look at him! He might!
Grubs, now that they have 6 of them, they get, as you rightly said, all these little mites to come and help siege onto these towers. And Adam is making full use of that. 4 plates now for him in the top lane. A 1.6k gold lead in the top lane. A lot of the advantage that BDS is sitting on are resting on Adam's shoulders. Great to see him starting off the year with a strong performance against BrokenBlade.
Titanic Hydra already complete. I wonder if he'll go Sundered Sky, one of our new items that gives you a bunch of healing when you are in combat, when you're hitting your opponents. See if he gets a Tunneler next. Obviously, we don't expect you guys to remember all of the items. We will quiz you on them after this game. I remember them all, Benny. We can
sure
lie. They don't know.
Labrov, good hook.
Yike flashes away. Good hook because you save from Labrov. Still only level 5. You can see that pink bar next to his portrait on the left, almost ticking over 2-6. Adam is going a little bit aggressive here. Sheo's on the way as well. Paranoia coming out. TP burnt by Caps, and Adam should be able to walk out of this one as the re-engage is invested by Sheo. The flash forward from Yike. Sheo's going to flash away. Adam does the same. Flash forward, though, by Caps as he manages to lock down Adam. And the shutdown goes into the waiting arms of Yike.
So G2 decides to help their top laner out. They commit the teleport from Caps. Nuke will get a plate in exchange, but they get that crucial shutdown. Yike is now going to be that much stronger, have a lot more gold in his back pocket, and BrokenBlade can get a few plates back for himself.
He's going to have such a gold infusion out of this. Importantly, though, TP, Flash, and Ignite burnt on the side of G2. Just the double flash for BDS. Nuke had those Void Mites helping him in the mid lane, which means he was able to grasp a bit of gold back by taking a plate of his own. Now TP's to mid. He's got the Hextech Goldinator and the Ether Wisp. I think I know where that's going, Betty.
Do you?
It's a Storm Surge,
That
baby.
is a Storm Surge.
You know what I dislike about Storm Surge?
I feel like a lot of things, Medic, based on the way...
Well, no, this is not the
every single
conventional,
day.
it just kills you, which is really annoying. This is, the passive is called Squall.
Yes.
And I just think that's a bit underwhelming for a lightning bolt that kills you, you know? If there's a freaking lightning bolt over my head that comes down and punishes me with the full wrath of Zeus himself...
You don't want to think about the noise that a parrot makes.
Oh, it's a squall.
You know what I
That's
mean?
a squawk.
Squall?
That's a squawk.
Yeah, but they sound like
No,
a squall.
a squall is a small, small
Glad you
tempest
agree.
type thing.
Anyway, getting back to the game, you can see Renekton, after taking top tower, has now
haven't missed
moved down
this,
to the
I'm gonna be
mid. Now they're looking to leverage their numbers to put some pressure onto this mid tower. Labrov, I don't think he's in that much danger. Should be able to just eat his way out of that one.
How are you chipping down to half HP? Those Void Mites
Look at how
helping in the
quickly
mid
they're
lane.
tearing apart this tower. The burn damage after the fact as well. Just goes to show how powerful these early grubs can be.
I mean, they're called Void Mites for a reason, okay? They might take down the tower for you. If they were Void Cans,
Makes so
it would be a lot more helpful for Nuke and Adam in that situation, but they're Void Mites.
So there is the experimental Hex Plate coming out from Sheo. This is the new item that you were talking about. It gives you ultimate haste, which is incredibly important. It basically just means the Nocturne can be a lot more active on the map much earlier. Usually it's around level 11 that old Nocturne really had the lower cooldown ultimate, which meant that he could, start ganking a lot more. But now you have access to that earlier lower cooldown that much earlier into the game. So you can see the build path on your screen. It's called the Tunneler. I keep calling it the Driller. I've heard other people call it the Burrower. It's all we know is it reminds us of that guy from The Incredibles.
Yeah, at the end. The Underminer. I think importantly for Nocturne as well, it's not just the fact that you get the ultimate haste, it's the fact that you get attack speed and bonus movement speed after you cast your ult as well.
It's very valuable.
When you land on someone with your ultimate, they basically can't get away from your fear. Even if they flash, often you can chase
It's everything that Nocturne could want, basically.
Exactly.
Now, G2 on the second dragon of the game. They are going to secure it. BDS, very late to contest, but they're committing the TP.
Adam looking for that dominance. There's the Paranoia in as well. They've already managed to pull back Mikyx, and he might just be sacrificed here by G2. Mikyx falls. BDS get 1 kill in response, but they burnt a lot to do so.
But they now have a number of members that can be used to pressure both the bot and mid tower, interrupting these backs as well with really great vision from BDS, having full insight on what G2 is up to, means that they should be able to get this tower uncontested. BrokenBlade is going to cross map on the top side, which means that it overall will be a dragon and a tower for G2, but a kill, and hopefully for BDS, they're able to secure this mid tower.
I mean, they have Demolish on Adam, they have the Void Mites, they've become their final form. They're Void Cans. And they will be... That joke amuses me way more than it should do as Caps looks for the damage here. Handshake back once again, Labrov pulled away. Engage doesn't really find its mark from BDS. And Ice is given some free time with this bot lane tower. Currently 2 towers to 1 in favor of BDS, looking to make it 3. You can see Caps working his way down through that bot side jungle, but should be relatively easy for BDS to take that because G2 have invested their time in making sure they take the Rift Herald. Now, there's 2 possible reasons for this. One, they might be trying to win the game and they want to take towers with it. Secondly, they might just want a rider.
True.
Okay, they might just want to go zoomy, 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 Crash Bandicoot racing around the map. They might be trying for a new Rainbow Road speedrun, Betty. They might be the best Max Verstappen you've ever seen. These are the possibilities. I'm thinking the latter because it's G2.
Right.
But the former is very possible.
Well, yes, and now that you've proposed those, we'll take those under consultation.
Okay.
And we'll evaluate later on into the game. Small fun fact for those, again, who haven't really been as familiar with the patch. Once the second dragon is dead, the blue and red buff will change so that they can be shared with one ally. Pretty much what the old blue and red buff would happen when you completed your jungle item. And then past 20 minutes, once you kill the blue or red, that buff will go to your entire team, but it will no longer transfer upon death. Yep. So a couple changes there, and we'll keep track of those. We'll just notice that the red buff was handed over to BrokenBlade. But overall, BDS still in a very strong map position, even though they haven't been able to get themselves many objectives. One of the things you want to try and leverage with this composition is with the power that you have on the bot side of the map. You want to be fighting around these early dragons, things like the Herald. You want to be using these objectives to actually skirmish and build up those kill leads, build up that gold lead. Now, they do still have a gold lead because they have a pretty significant tower advantage, but the gap that exists between them is kind of the question mark that you have to ask. Does BDS feel strong enough compared to G2 at this point in the game? I'd say that they're in a very good position with the Storm Surge being completed. Renekton very close to his second core item, and you can see that the 3 highest gold earners all on the side of BDS. So they're in a great spot right now. They just need to keep this pressure up against G2, and I imagine that will be around the next dragon that spawns in about 2 minutes' time.
I think you can't really give over the third Drake, especially when it's a Hex Tech Drake. Hex so powerful on so many of the members of G2, Gwen and Aphelios especially. You know, people that like to auto-attack can use it incredibly effectively. It looks like Nuke and Caps are matching up down towards this bottom side. Mikyx making his way across as well, but G2 have really good vision. As BDS were looking for something, you have to be able to ward relatively deep against a Nocturne because otherwise the paranoia can close the gap very quickly. True. But G2 have done that really well. Labrov is going to try and clear out some of this vision, but he's stepping into darkness, and even on someone like Pyke, it can be a little bit risky when you're playing into a Renata or a Vi. You have that hard CC to know that you're going to be able to get out. I
will give credit to BDS. They're not letting G2 on their side of the map. They just have full control over the river. If the observers can highlight what G2 see right now, you'll see that right now they have a bit of information around the entrances around the top
Isn't G2C
side.
just heretics?
So annoying. But the BDS have done a great job of just controlling the river and mitigating how far into their side of the map G2 can go. So they're kind of putting a lot of pressure on G2 and forcing them to play a lot more cautiously, constantly giving BDS this extra push, along with the towers helping them as well. Dragon spawning went at 45 seconds, and I expect to see, Labrov going to go back to base, replenish that stock of wards, and then make his way back out onto the map and start to make some stuff happen towards this dragon.
And this was where BDS were good last year as well.
Oh,
Their early game tended to be relatively solid. Through the early portions of the mid game, they'd get vision control, they'd force the enemies back, but it was usually mid game into late game that they would struggle. The question is, will they be able to manage team fights better than they were able to in 2023? Or will we see G2 just do what G2 have done many times over the last few years, which is fall into a deficit and still manage to win the game through better coordination across their 5 members? I think they'll try to wait for Hans Summer to get his second item, still only sitting on a Storm Raider right now. Infinity Edge often is where you look second on Aphelios if you're not going just for lethality, which you can do on the current patch. We'll see.
Right, gonna be started, and G2 gonna leave it uncontested. This is the smart decision for G2. There's no reason for them to fight, what we talked about earlier. BDS want to fight early to mid-game. They're looking for these skirmishes. They're looking for these 5v5s, especially around these 1-2 items. Renekton now with the Sundered Sky completed as well. He's very powerful in the top lane. BrokenBlade needs to be careful here. But he knows he has the support from Yike, so he's feeling confident to push. Labrov gonna go for a bit of a trade. Ice is here to assist, but he's gonna play it safe. And all right, so G2...
Bit of a vanilla play there from Ice.
They're gonna... Is this just what you did in the off-season? You just wrote a book of how can I make... Now the freak's gone, there's a void.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What And
I do quickly want to look at the runes. I didn't see earlier. Did you see if Adam was running Ingenious? Oh, he's not. He's not running Domination Tree. Okay.
yeah.
Because you did mention it, and I hadn't checked. I didn't know if you checked. So.
From what I could tell, it wasn't something that the pros were running. It was just something that I thought was. I saw it on Twitter.
It's really good because what it does is Sundered Sky is a great item. Basically, your first attack against, or your next basic attack against a champion, critically strikes automatically, but also heals you for 140% of your base AD. So it's great on bruisers, right? The cooldown for each champion is 6 seconds. With Ingenious Hunter, you can get that down to 4 seconds.
That's a great point, but
oh, he's riding it. Wait, he went the wrong way. He didn't click. I did this so many times.
Hang on. Let him cook. Let him cook.
No.
Where's he going? Where's he going?
Where are you going, Caps? He wants the minions. Okay, no, he clicked the wrong way, I think. Or he just wanted to get that quicker.
No, he didn't. I swear he moved it to mid lane. I think this was a plan.
You think it was going to expire and he just wanted to bring it
I think it did expire. It got spawned. It started going bot lane, and so he moved it to mid.
I mean, that makes sense, but it's just going to die, so... It might get a charge. I don't think it does. I think Labrov, he's forward, autos the eye.
Nope.
And it dies.
All right, so Caps just went for a zoomies, I guess.
I will say, at least the first 3 times I spawned in a Herald on this patch, I took it the wrong direction because you have to click the direction you want to go. The arrow comes out and I was like, I'll just point it where I want to go. And then I'd be running backwards like some sort of coward. I got flamed by Dracos and by Dagda. And Dagda flaming you is a big deal.
I have to assume that Caps has done it enough times.
Maybe Yike always takes the R.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can ask him. We'll have to make sure that we ask that question from Caps at some point. But yeah, ultimately, the takeaway, the Herald gained no value for G2. Their vision continues to be starved. Thank you, observers, for highlighting how dark it is on the map right now.
Which is strange, because this is the all-seeing Baron. So you'd think there'd be a little bit more vision on the map.
So annoying.
You can tell it's the all-seeing Baron because of those long areas to the side.
Each can see more of the river.
It can see more. It can see out of the side of its head, which is actually a prey move rather than a predator move, because prey want like 180-degree vision so they can see predators coming from anywhere. So I think this Baron is actually a scaredy cat. What feasts on the Baron? That's a good question, you know? But yeah, there are 3 different types of Baron now. There's the Hunter, the Territorial, and the All-Seeing. This one's the All-Seeing. You have those elongated passages at the side, which means controlling vision around here is actually a lot harder because you can't just put a control ward in the middle.
Look at how many wards he's cleared out. He's got all those zombie wards left.
He's almost at 100 vision score. We're only 22 minutes into the game. And Umbral, still a really strong item. The Blood Song now complete on Labrov as well. Has been for a little bit of time.
Really good on champions like Pyke especially. I have heard rumors about it being built on 80 carries.
If we go back to double support item meta, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, I think the only reason it hasn't happened is just because of how close we are to the patch.
Yeah, people discovered it like 2 days ago.
Yeah, and pros are a little hesitant to try it, but I'm pretty sure it's coming. In any case, BDS, they may have found a pick.
Paranoia coming down towards the bottom side, and there's the lock. BrokenBlade trying to escape, but the fear connects. And X marks the spot, but Labrov uses it a little bit too late to get the kill. G2 now starting up the Baron. Labrov and Sheo on their way up. No Paranoia, no TPs either. Sheo trying to chase in here. TP behind as Adam is going to try and join the fight, but already 4,000 HP on the Baron. G2 might have just snuck this one right under BDS's nose as they get it. Adam trying to get him from the side. Yike locks him up. The Ruthless Predator stun on Yike means that Adam will put some damage down. Mikyx the first to fall. The hostile takeover to disengage. The re-engage as Sheo dashes the wall, flashes it perfectly so that Yike doesn't chase him with the spell shield.
Yeah. But overall, I think that G2 walk away the victors in this scenario. Securing the Baron just buys them a lot more time to continue to scale up. You can see the Infinity Edge finish now for Hansama. It's and the problem for BDS is, yes, they were able to get a good pick on the BrokenBlade, punish his positioning, but G2 responded in kind by immediately going towards the Baron. Now, this will give BDS another dragon, but G2 are happy to concede this for now, because again, they're just playing the scaling game, and the longer this game goes, that's where you start to get more and more concerned, because Gwen in a side lane is going to be a threat. We even saw in that last little skirmish in bot lane, the Omnivamp really coming through there from the Riftmaker as well, and what makes it such a stronger item. Now the Vi looking for a play in bot.
TP coming in, Adam with the Dominus looking for the re-engage. Labrov gonna join the fray as they lock down Yike, but they can't quite kill him up in time to get him. After the Nico ultimate is used, Caps trying to escape now as Adam chases him down, but he's rooted and locked up, and Gwen will snip him to death. The double for BrokenBlade as G2 strike on the top side of the map.
I mean, it's a 2-for-1 trade, and they should unlock a tower as well. BDS slowly starting to fall apart here in the mid game after G2 snuck away that Baron. And now BrokenBlade, he's back in the game. 2 quick kills, puts a bounty on his head. He's already secured 2 items with the gold that he's just been able to pick up. That should put him in a much better position, and now G2 is looking to secure another tower, and just like that, they've equalized the towers. The gold is pretty much dead even as well. And it feels like that it's the same story from last year. 13-2 was the record in favor of G2 for the entirety of 2023. The last time these two teams met was the season finals, where it was a 3-1 scoreline for G2. And BDS, they wanted this early game composition. They wanted to try and snowball with some kind of lead, and their early game looked good. But the objective play from G2 has just been better across the board.
It really has. They've really pulled BDS across the map. And so BDS going for bot lane plays here again. It's close for BDS, but they just step a little bit too far in trying to kill Yike.
They are able to get that kill onto Yike, but a really impactful ultimate from Caps locks up both Adam and Nuke, buying himself time. Another root follow-up there. You can see how difficult it is for the Renekton to close that gap. Nico providing great kiting tools. And then each kill just being picked up by BrokenBlade, working towards that death gap.
Paranoid coming out for G2 here again. BDS will have to immediately disengage, but the tower's already falling. The spell shield from Sheo leaves Adam isolated. Labrov trying to get in back from the back of the fight. Nuke's here to join as well. Sheo has been chased down, but Mikyx low. Death marks the spot for him. Caps trying to escape as Nuke chases him down. Summer putting the damage from the bottom side of the fight. The Pop Blossom dodged by Nuke, but BrokenBlade now joins the party, and BrokenBlade will snip them to pieces. Labrov tries to dash away, but Summer has a flash and has a say in how the fight ends.
And that's 4 dead for BDS. They tried to find another pick in the bot lane, but G2 was ready for it this time. They turn, and their response is violence. 11 kills to 10. The gold finally in their favor. And now they're looking to secure the tier 2 in the bot lane.
And that's the backbreaking play you have to feel. Until that moment, there was an opportunity for BDS to get back in, but here, likely an inhibitor falling. BrokenBlade at 2 items, almost at 3 with the Rabadons. Riftmaker alongside Storm Surge, probably the most broken item on the patch. Alongside that, Ashes and Rabadons will make BrokenBlade basically unkillable in fights.
And that fight was looking very messy. The fact that G2 kind of split their focus gave BDS an opportunity to regroup. There was a window there where BDS actually could have potentially turned that fight around. The big problem for BDS is Ice isn't there. We look at the minimap right now, we can see Ice making his way from mid towards bot. BDS wants to try and make this play happen, but it's a 3v4 right off the bat. Notice here how G2 will kind of split off into 2 different fights. Labrov is going to come from the river, turning this into a 2 versus 2, which is a good opportunity for BDS, especially when Nuke TP's in as well. The numbers advantage is in favor of BDS, and they get that initial kill, but the moment that BrokenBlade joins the fight, this is where things all turn in the favor of G2. Ice is kind of left isolated, trying to get a kill onto Yike, but he's not able to find it. He's not really involved in the fight in any way. And then the 3 carries of G2 just clean up.
It's a tale as old as time. G2 fall behind in the early game, managed to fight back in the mid game. Labrov caught here by Yike, trying to channel the Q, but he's already shut out. Thunder from above as the Storm Surge connects. There's the Pop Blossom, and pop goes BDS. Sheo, the last man standing in the top lane fray, but he'll be snipped away and won't live to fight another day. Yike doesn't have the ultimate, no cease and desist for him. But, they'll still be able to chase away Adam and Ice, and now G2 knocking on the doors of the Nexus. Second inhibitor to fall, and maybe they'll look for more.
Under 30 minutes, just like that, G2 have the Nexus in their eyes to flash in from Mikyx.
Hostile takeover forces Adam to go berserk and start hitting Ice. The Nexus tower now focused down by G2. And for the first time in our new arena and in 2024, G2 will take the win.
The early game looked very promising for BDS. The top side of the map was going heavily in the favor of Adam, even securing himself a solo kill. They were able to find some good ganks on the bot side of the map, setting up Ice for success. But it was just around these objectives. They lost the first 2 dragons, which meant that they didn't really have any objective to kind of force G2 to come into. And they weren't able to secure the early Herald to try and unlock those tier 2 towers either. And the fact that G2 was able to secure all of these neutrals meant that when the 3rd and the 4th dragon rolled around, they could sit back, they could wait. And it was really the Baron that was kind of the decider, because that Baron round meant that they could sit back and relax. At no point was G2 ever forced into an early 5v5 that they didn't want to take. And BDS coming into the season with an aggressive approach. They wanted to try and fight, and unfortunately for them, they just couldn't find the fights that they wanted.
Definitely couldn't. Your Here player of the game votes at LEC on X, Yike, Caps, and Hansama are your options. We're going to be right back after a short break. Don't you guys go anywhere.